Hello and welcome. Today is Wednesday, April 29th, and it would be an A day if we were still in school. So on the last video, I talked about characterization and how we figure out characterization through direct or indirect means. And today I want to talk about two different types of character, and that's flat versus round. And sometimes when students start learning about this, they get it confused with dynamic versus static. We'll talk about those two tomorrow. Today we're just focusing on flat and round. And we'll start with flat. A flat character is a character that's kind of one note or two-dimensional. There's not a whole lot there in terms of the depth of the character. It's kind of very superficial. What you see on the surface is what you get. Now, you see this a lot in popular media because it's really easy to understand and digest. Right? We see this a lot with superhero mediums particularly, and now that we've got a lot of comic book movies becoming popular, it's pretty prevalent. And particularly with, comic books, we had a big shift probably about 3 or 4 decades ago with comics in that, DC Comics, which were really famous for characters like Superman and Batman, their characters were pretty flat. Superman was this very, very perfect individual who was always doing the right thing and was very good and honest. As such, he was very flat, right? There wasn't a whole lot of depth to his character. What you saw on the surface is what you got, right? And even Batman was very similar. And then when Marvel Comics started to introduce characters, they introduced characters that were very different from that. They introduced round characters. Round characters have a lot of depth and nuance to them. There's a lot more to them. There's more under the surface, right? There's more motivations going on behind their actions, and there's a lot more realistic qualities to them. So some visuals here. Flat character, right? Flat 2D, right? Round, three-dimensional, a lot more depth to it. Batman was this character who was always doing the right thing and was very good. And then as Marvel Comics came into popularity, they made a big shift with some of the DC Comics. Batman got changed and he started to have these demons he was struggling with, the death of his parents and everything. They made him a lot edgier and they provided a lot more depth to the character. He went from being a very flat character to a very round character. So think about it that way. Flat character, there's not a lot to them. They're very superficial, 2D, one note, if you will, right? What you see on the surface is pretty much what you get. Their motivations are pretty clear and present. There's not a whole lot of depth to them. Round characters are much more involved. There's a lot more to those types of characters. Their motivations, their actions cannot just be easily explained, right? There's more behind the scenes going on with them. And that's it for today's video. Tomorrow we'll handle static versus dynamic, and I hope everyone's well. As always, leave a comment or question if you have anything you need to discuss or figure out. If you have a suggestion for a future video, please reach out to me and I'll try to cover it. I apologize for Loco, who of course had to stroll through and be a part of this video as always. Until next time, be good.